red, white, blue on the track we ride. Through Salt Lake City on a smooth guide. Northern Utah's pride, we glide. Tram lines clear, heading for the green side. Let's save the planet with each ride.
Hello yet again, and welcome back to Compositing with Sam. This is episode 16, and in this episode we're going to take this image taken in northern Utah, and we're going to take this freeway and we're going to put some light rail down the middle of it. I know this is ambitious. It may not be what you would actually do in this scenario, but again, the goal of these videos is just kind of to show you how to think through creating a project in Beyond Typicals and then compositing it, camera matching, rendering out images and videos so that you can understand that process. If you have your own project and you're trying to get some direction or need some help, reach out to us. Go to our contact us page at beyondcad.com, and we'd love to help you either if you're looking into Beyond Typicals or if you are a current user. All right, so I have this project in Photoshop, and the first thing we're going to do is remove these objects. It's going to make it easier down the road, and by objects I mean these vehicles. So we're going to do generative fill, which is the AI thing, to see if we can get good results here. And then we're also going to need to crop out these iron features here because it's going to obviously be in front of the traffic, and we want to do a foreground background scenario, and it's actually going to help blend it in. All right, so we have a few options here. You can see they're all decent. I like the second one the best, so we're going to leave that, and then I'll go through and do the rest to the rest of these, including this side.
Rails provide, yeah, it's clean, so fresh in the daylight. Moving forward, keeping the skies bright. Hop on, let's make this right.
All right, so I went through and used generative fill to remove all of those vehicles, and then I merged them down to one layer. Today I'm using Photoshop. Usually I use GIMP. Photoshop obviously has a better generative fill. I'm also going to use the lasso tool here to pull out my foreground and background elements. And I'm going to use the polygon lasso tool and work on that now.
Feel the beat of the wheels in motion. From the city heart to the lakeside devotion. Steel and electric, it's more than a notion. Cruising past the gridlock to our solution. East to west, connecting us tight. From the mountains to the valley, all day and night. We're united in the mission, keep the future bright. With every station stop, we see the dream in sight. Let's save the planet with each ride. Everybody. Urban sprawl drops as the rails provide. Yeah, it's clean, so fresh in the daylight. Moving forward, keeping the skies bright. Hop on, let's make this right. Feel the beat of the wheels in motion. From the city heart to the lakeside devotion. Steel and electric, it's more than a notion. Cruising past the gridlock to our solution. East to west, connecting us tight. From the mountains.
All right, so I pulled out the foreground elements and background in Photoshop. Now I'm going to bring them in here to Beyond Typicals. This is the default project. We want to go ahead and go to a blank project, turn off our total width labels, go to this big red render button. We have two tabs. We're going to go to rendering and do 4K, and then photo composite, import new layer, and we want to bring in each of these, background, foreground. And then I also did another layer of the generative fill, and I did this kind of a pro tip so that when I do before and after, I can have those cars in there if I want to. And you can now we can turn those on and off to show the cars. So we want that to be in the front, we want the background to be in the very back, and I think we should be okay here. Another note too, we had this there's this chain link fence right here. It would have taken a lot of time to pull out all those elements so that the car could go through in the foreground, background. And so what I'm going to do is just move the image over. You have permission to do stuff like this because it's just kind of doesn't make sense to spend a lot of time when you don't have to. Okay, so let's do it first with the background. X offsets. Let's try 0.05. Foreground. And so we're going to have to zoom in just a little bit. So let's go 1.1. 0.05. Do that back here. And then we got to do the same with generative fill. Alright, so now we don't have to worry about the chain link fence. Our image is properly positioned, and I'm going to go ahead and save the image. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and start building out the project, and then we'll move to camera matching.
Gloves off, I glide through the city, no stressing. Red, white, and blue on my ride, it's a blessing. The track leaning like them retro kicks, I be flexing. Northern Utah vibes, SLC, we progressing. Off the tram, let's say this planet, sustainable routes, ain't taking it for granted. From the beach to the streets, every ride enchanted. Eco dream, transportation reinvented. Uplift the switch seat.
Alright, so I built that out. That was pretty fast. In version 3, you can use a hierarchy to build one side of it, wrap it, and then duplicate and mirror it. And then we have our northbound and our southbound, which is pretty cool. We also have our high-speed rail, and I'm going to do a camera match first, and then I'm going to show you how we can actually change and customize our rail. So for camera matching, you want to kind of get it as close as you can manually with the mouse, and then we can do some tighter adjustments. And the best way to do this is you want to put the background to the front, and then you want to change the opacity. Let's just go ahead and turn off the generative thing. And then you can see here we can match some of the striping. This isn't one-to-one because we don't have the existing modeled out, we just have this new proposed. But this should be close enough that we can get it. And I think our field of view here might need to be tweaked a little bit as well. So once you get it close, you can go down to settings, and then you can adjust the rotation and also the pitch and XYZ, all that stuff.
White and blue on my ride, it's a blessing. The track leaning like them retro kicks, I be flexing. Northern Utah vibes, SLC, we progressing.
Alright, so we got a pretty tight camera match, which is great. And now we can move this background back to the back and adjust our opacity. We also want to turn on our generative fill to cover up those vehicles. And then from here we can just make slight alterations if necessary to get our camera matching even closer.
Silent hum as the campus kicks.
Alright, now I'm going to show you how you can customize the train by going to Assets. We want to go to Dynamic, and then we have Dynamic Train right here. You also have Dynamic Bus. So we want to create a template, and now we have this template, and now from there we can edit those parameters. So the best way to do this is let's make sure we have it applied to the high-speed track. If you can't find it, you can just always type it in. There you go. Now when you select these, you'll be able to see on basic, we want to do dynamic train on both of these. And then when that comes through, we want to pause it, and then we can edit it. All right, so we see it there, and we go back to our assets, edit parameters, and now we want to change the length. You can change the nose length. You can change the number of passenger cars. We can change the text, which is on the top. We're not going to see it here, so it's not that important. You can also, there's a decal that you can adjust And then we want to make the end car as well. Let's see how that's looking. Okay, that nose is a little sharp, so let's go back and adjust that. And then we want to adjust the colors of this. And I'm not going to do this perfectly, but just to show how you can kind of match similar colors to whatever jurisdiction you're in. You can do salt, lake, city, rail. And so they have this red, white, and blue. So let's try and do something at least a little bit similar to the red, white, and blue that we see here. So back here we go to our colors, and we want to do red, and then we want to do blue. So now this is much closer to what we would see. We have other options as well. We could do this whole thing red, but we're going to just keep that to the white. In the passenger fill as well, you'll see that we have passengers in here, and we can control how many people we want in there. And then we can also control if you want electric equipment on top, which we're not too worried about right now. So let's go back to our preset. Let's push play. All right, so now we have our model built out, and now we can start doing some test renders. All right, so after doing renders, the first one always takes a minute, but then after that they go pretty quickly. I also just turn down the quality settings usually. But after all that and a little bit of tweaking, this is the final result. Overall, this took about 38 minutes, a little bit longer than usual. But again, this is some more complex stuff we have going on here with the freeway, the foreground backgrounds, and the rail, the customizable rail, but still under 40 minutes to do all of this. My name is Sam Lytle. I'm the founder of BeyondCAD, the creator of Beyond Typicals. Visit beyondcad.com. We would love to talk to you about how you can do this for your own projects, and I will talk to you in the next one.
Feel the beat of the wheels in motion. From the city heart to the lakeside devotion. Steel and electric, it's more than a notion. Cruising past the gridlock to our solution. East to west, connecting us tight from the mountain.